Hey guys, Aaron Dorr here with Wyoming Gun Owners. We have a story for you. It's a breaking news situation. You guys are going to want to hear about it. Frankly, it can't even wait until Monday. That's why we're going live right now on Saturday afternoon. Guys, moments ago, conservative pro-gun warrior Bo Biteman was elected as Senate president for the next 2 years. His brother-in-arms, our Stand Your Ground Law bill sponsor, another ferocious gun rights champion, Tim Salazar, was elected as Senate vice president. And there was a complete routing of the rhinos who were trying to take over the chamber for 2025 and 2026. We have a winners list, we have a losers list, and we have an other losers list you guys are going to want to hear about. Tune in, buckle up. It's story time here at Wyoming Gun Owners. So everyone knows the problem that we have in Wyoming. It is the reddest state in the country, but so often conservative issues go to die in Cheyenne because the leaders of the House and or Senate are almost always backstabbing rhino traitors. There's been some exceptions, but for the most part, most gun bills die because leadership puts them in bad committees designed to kill them. There have been exceptions. WIGO has passed constitutional carry, stand your ground law. We've banned red flag gun seizures and more. But for the most part, it's an uphill battle in what should be the easiest state in the country to pass pro-gun bills. So basically, whoever controls the chamber, that's everything. That's everything when it comes to the future of our gun rights. So since the August primary, back August, August 18? August 20 primary, the real question here was not what was going to happen on November 5. We all knew that we'd be the reddest state in the country with the biggest vote margin in America for President Trump. And there was not really any very contested races, certainly in the Senate. The real question has been who was going to win the internal caucus vote to be Senate president, Senate vice president, and the majority floor leader for the next 2 years. There's been a lot of stuff going on behind the scenes and behind closed doors for a very long time. WIGO has been a part of this at various points. And again, we're very, very proud to announce that Bo Biteman just got elected as Senate president, Tim Salazar as Senate vice president, and Tara Nethercott as majority floor leader. So the backdrop here, as I said, has been going on for a couple months. Larry Hicks, who has been the majority leader for quite some time, thought he had an absolute lock to be Senate president. Now, if you remember from a couple of years ago, it was Larry Hicks who ran the awful, dreadful, backstabbing version of SEPA that gave no protection to gun owners, no protection to WIGO members, but it gave all the protection to the politicians who were facing tough primaries in 2022. Larry deliberately and with malice, absolute political malice, passed this bill just to give cover to rhinos in Cheyenne. Larry Hicks was trying to become the Senate president. Sherry Steinmetz, who has been, how do we say this? Sherry, since the day she made the jump in the Senate back in 2018 with WIGO's help, let's just be clear on that, Sherry has been a corrupt, vicious, backstabbing traitor ever since that time. And her intention here was to wind up as the Senate vice president. And then Senator Brian Boner was going to be the majority floor leader. Now, Sherry Steinmetz was going to use this position as the vice president to mount her bid for governor in 2026. She hid that from nobody in Cheyenne. It's the worst kept secret in Cheyenne. And this is going to be a platform for her to take her rhino backstabbing traitor self to statewide proportions as governor. That was her intention. And all of that came crashing down today because she was obliterated alongside of Larry Hicks in this election. The final vote was 20-9. 20 senators to 9 in favor of the Biteman, Salazar, Nethercott triumvirate over Hicks, Steinmetz, and Boner. Guys, the ramifications here could not be overstated. This means that we're going to have a greased path towards moving pro-gun bills in 2025. Specifically, things like fixing the Second Amendment Preservation Act or repealing deadly gun-free zones. We had to go to war to deal with these things last session. And as you guys remember, Rhino Governor Mark Gordon vetoed gun-free zone repeal, and there was not enough time to deal with that. This year, it will be way different. This year, it's a long session, not a short session. And when these bills get on Governor Gordon's desk, and if and when he vetoes these bills again, we will have plenty of votes, especially in the Senate, to override these vetoes and ram them down Mark Gordon's Rhino throat. So, the first group of losers is already been said. Larry Hicks, if you know Larry, you know what I'm talking about. The guy, the arrogance that drips off this guy is hard to quantify. He believes he is literally God's gift to mankind and God's gift to Wyoming. He has done tremendous damage as the majority floor leader, as the big rhino that he is. He's a loser. Sherry Steinmetz, she's done. I mean, her attempt to be the vice president and then run for governor, gone. Brian Boner, loser. So these three are all in the loser category. In the winner category, you've got Bo Biteman and Tim Salazar. And frankly, nobody has worked harder amongst this current Senate caucus to fight for gun rights than these guys. These guys have been warriors. Bo Biteman was the lead sponsor of our bill last session, which did become law, which banned red flag gun seizures. Tim Salazar was our bill sponsor of the bill that became Stand Your Ground law in 2018. They are unrelenting advocates for freedom. They're both in the winner category. Tara Nethercott. Now, if you know WIGO's history, we have been, we have been critical of the senator from Cheyenne for a very long time. And there have been reasons for that off and on. But what I want to say is this. Senator Nethercott was extremely helpful to gun owners in 2024. It was quite something. She was an ally in the fight to ban red flag gun seizures. She was helpful in our efforts to get rid of gun-free zones. Again, the bill got vetoed, but not because of Tara. And in general, she was very helpful to the fight in 2024. And we're very willing to give her her due in that regard. We have high hopes that working alongside of Bo Biteman and Tim Salazar, that Tara will be a very good voice going forward. At least that is certainly our hope. And we expect that based on what we have seen over the last, 11 months since session began back earlier this year. So that's the winners. That's the losers. Who are the other losers? Who are the other losers? Well, one of them certainly has to be Gun Owners of America's lobbyist, Mark Jones. Now, if you know Mark Jones, this is the guy who parachutes into our state from, I think he was from North Carolina. He used to measure like frogs' reproductive organs or some crap for the state of North Carolina, parachutes into our state, decides he wants to be a gun lobbyist, and he brokered the fake SEPA bill, which did nothing to help gun owners in 2022, but helped all the rhinos win re-election. Of course, Mark Jones... This guy thinks he can run for the Wyoming House. He gets his ass handed to him in the primaries a couple of months ago, and he's pretty bitter. Well, Mark Jones, you would think as a lobbyist, you're not going to be out there spreading rumors and gossip, but this guy has been going around Wyoming spreading gossip, trying to say, and this is what's so unbelievable, trying to say that Bo Biteman and Tim Salazar are not real conservatives. These guys literally wrote the book on what it means to be a conservative in Wyoming. These guys have been there and done that and delivered for gun owners and everybody else for years. And this guy parachutes into the state, no experience, no idea what he's doing, can't pass a real gun bill, can't win a House primary, and now he can't even identify who the conservative champions are in this state. I think that GOA's Mark Jones is going to have a long and rough session in 2025. He gets a big L. Who else? How about the Cowboy State rumor mills, David Iverson? Now, this guy let's just be clear. We're doing him a real solid by even mentioning him in this video because the guy is not worthy of being mentioned in this video. But because he's a part of Cowboy State rumor mill, and to be clear, we used to like Cowboy State Daily. Yeah, they've hit us a bunch. That's okay. We like them. They've done some good articles. We like some of their staff. But this guy, Iverson, is a total clown. And for weeks and weeks and weeks, he has been saying that Bo Biteman, Tim Salazar, were going to side with the Rhinos to betray conservatives here in Wyoming. This guy is so out of touch. He must have no sources. I mean, he must have no source material that apparently he didn't even know until today that the entire time this plan has been being hatched behind closed doors and it's been being worked on one phone call at a time. And so he literally thought that conservative champions like Biteman and Salazar and all the rest of the gang in Cheyenne were going to just roll over and surrender control of the Senate to the Rhinos. And so he accused them of being complicit in this whole situation, when in reality, they scripted and executed a perfect political battle plan to seize control of that chamber, to be in a position to do great things for gun owners for years to come. So I would suggest the Cowboy State rumor mill remove this guy because, man, he made you all look really stupid today with the conclusion of this leadership vote. You know, it's interesting to note that the New York Times was on hand in Casper today for this vote. That's pretty weird. That's pretty unusual. I'll just say that. This is an internal caucus vote, nothing to do with public policy, but yet the New York Times was there, and the moment the doors opened up, they were there asking questions of our friends. So I am not sure what that means. I have a suspicion, however. I believe that people are now remembering that President Donald J. Trump likes Bo Biteman and likes him an awful lot. He has said extremely complimentary things about Bo Biteman in years past, and he has endorsed Senator Biteman's bills that deal with election integrity here in Wyoming. And I'm just thinking that some of the national news might be thinking, what might happen down the road? What might happen in 2026? Who knows? We're all about to find out. Senators Barrasso and Lummis were there, along with Harriet Hagman. Interesting, but quite noteworthy material. They're not in the winners or losers category. They're in the observers category. We'll just say that. But I will say this. Anybody who was in the camp pushing for Sherry Steinmetz, pushing for Larry Hicks, looks really dumb today, because not only was that effort totally obliterated 20-9, but also apparently you didn't even see this play coming until everybody walked in the room in Casper today. So, guys, this is a great day for Wyoming. It's a great day for WIGO members. It's a great day for the conservatives in the Senate who have fought so damn hard for so many years to advance freedom, both in the Second Amendment space and all other areas. These guys have been attacked. They have been belittled. They have been primaried. They have been maligned. They have been treated like crap by the media, the rhinos, the few Democrats we have, and everybody else. But these guys have fought like hell. WIGO has been super proud to fight alongside of these guys to pass major pro-gun bills. And God knows we've been happy to fight alongside these guys in their primaries to make sure we educate gun owners and tell gun owners where these guys stand and what these guys have done. 2025 is going to be a great year. And coming up next, we're going to hear an awful lot in the near future about committee chairmanships. And boy, I would not be surprised to see all of the normal gang that we roll with in Cheyenne be treated very well in the committee chairmanship process. So we'll have more on that in the days and weeks ahead. You know, to the victors go the spoils, and WIGO members are a part of this. We have worked hard to achieve pro-gun victories and to help see pro-gun champions get elected in Cheyenne. It's going to be a lot of fun. You know, when the rhinos took control, well, they've always had control for recent memory in the Senate. When Anthony Bouchard won his race in the Senate, they punished him. He was a champion for gun owners, a champion for freedom. And you know what they did? They gave him this rinky-dink desk in the very front of the building. It doesn't even face the same direction. It sits at a side. It's almost like the punishment corner from when we were in grade school, right? If you were an idiot, you were sent to the corner. I mean, not today. Today they give them a participation trophy or who knows what. But back in the day, you were sent to the corner, stand there wearing the dunce hat, right? That's how they treated Senator Bouchard for the last couple of years, on the dunce desk. And I'm really curious. I'm really curious to know, will Sherry Steinmetz have that desk? Will Brian Boner have the desk? Will Larry Hicks have the desk? We're going to wait and see. We're also going to wait and see and find out if the rumor that we're hearing is true, whether or not Larry Hicks will even be in the building come January, because we're hearing rumors that he might even resign his seat in embarrassment and crawl back home. Guys, a great day. Thank you to all the WIGO members who help us fight so hard for you guys in Cheyenne, fight so hard during the primaries.